Okay, good glorious morning, everyone. I'm a little out of breath because I'm on my bike ride this morning, and it's such a beautiful, gloriously beautiful day today. Of course, every day is a gloriously beautiful day, and I'm messed up here, so give me a second. Okay, I got my cord enclosed. So, welcome to Lavender House. This is the day that the Lord has made. I am rejoicing and I'm very glad in it. So, Heavenly Father, I offer my body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto you as my reasonable service. And I am not conformed to this world, but I am transformed by the renewing of my mind, that I might prove what is that good and acceptable, that perfect will of God in my life. I dwell in the secret place of the Most High. So today I want to talk to you about sunshine and fresh air. Now, in Ellen White's book with the 8 laws of God for health, that's not the title of the book, but that's the title of I think a chapter or so. So I'm trying to give credit to the sources that I get my information from, and I'm being guided mostly to things that were published in the early 1900s. Okay, because that's where Spirit is guiding me, and that is where I think that I'm being guided there, because it's a more simpler truth. Okay, and then of course I modify and add some things from the modern world, from the doctors and the books and things that are available to me. So today I want to talk about I talked before about exercise and nutrition. Today I'm going to talk about sunshine and fresh air, and I'm going to say fresh air because it was only distinguished as air, but now we live in a situation, and I'll pick on air first, where we have air conditioning. Yeah, okay. And right now there are some places that have limited areas of fresh air. And so my prayers go out to those who are in the throes of that. And to be perfectly honest, most of the time in this life, we don't really know how fresh the air is. We can change the air filters, but in our homes and maybe in our offices, they are upkept. But with the air that is pumped in, we really don't know. Okay? And even now, although I'm outside, I am subject to the air that surrounds me. Of course, now, one of the elements that I have that is in my favor, although there's construction all around me, there's trucks and noise and all kinds of things that produce fumes and things like that. I come out early in the morning after things have settled overnight. There are no trucks going through the neighborhood and distributing concrete and stuff for a few hours. And as you notice on my picture here, I'm out to nature. okay? And so the trees absorb a lot of the toxins that are in the air and process that and release a much higher quality of I don't know what, a much higher, well, it filters the air. It's kind of what I'm going to say. And when I do a broadcast that puts this out on a live broadcast, and we'll talk about these, I will be indoors with my notes. But when I come out here, it's just straight off the cuff, as simple as I can get, and with appreciation of all that we have available to us, and in the simplicity, okay? So, in the simplicity of this life, I believe that the trees and the grass and even the birds of the air, okay, because they're still flying, and the dragonflies and the insects, they all have their jobs to do, and they're all committed to the prosperity and propagation of what is best, what is simple, okay? So when I'm talking about fresh air, I'm talking about getting outside of the office, outside of the house, and sometimes outside of your environment. If you can get down to a beach that's not full of people. So when I go to Galveston Island, I usually like to go on a weekday, and I can be there when the sun rises and there's not anybody on the water pretty much but me. So I seek out those places, and these become, I'm here on the lake, and these become part of my secret place of the Most High. And I go within to do my prayers with the sounds of nature all around me. And I recognize that I am one with that spirit that has created all of this. And while the trees may be planted and everything might be sculptured, it is the hand of God that makes them grow, and that keeps our universe to some degree safe for us. We are responsible for having dominion over the earth and taking care of it. Sometimes we don't do such a good job, and I think Mother Nature comes up and says, bam, seriously, you're going to do this to me? I'm going to regurgitate this. And so she throws up a tornado or a hurricane or something that we find at the moment devastating, but then further down the line we get a chance to clean all that up. Unfortunately, I don't see many times that we come to a higher appreciation and we keep it clean. Because even out here with the manicured properties and the beauty that's all around me, I still find that people do things like walk their dogs and don't pick up behind them. They throw plastic things and paper things. You just litter. And it breaks my heart. So, and I said all that to imply that we're responsible for the quality of our air to some degree. We're responsible. Okay. So may we take and assume responsibility for keeping Mother Earth, our home, this which we come from, in a higher appreciation. And may we find the opportunities to appreciate and breathe in and exhale. When I go into meditation, I focus on the breath, and sometimes when my mind wants words, I use the word only God as I inhale, and God only as I exhale. So to me, if I put it into a concept, I breathe in the breath of life, because man was created, and then God breathed into man the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And so air is important to my existence. And getting outside in the fullness of the fresh air makes that, I think, a little more permeable and productive for me, for my body, to have an air bath, okay? To allow the air to come across my skin and absorb the nutrients and the oxygen and all the qualities of things that are in the air for the benefit of my body, and then to take that deep within my lungs, okay? Breathing in the oxygen and breathing out the CO2 to keep my body in a sense of homeostasis. I think I said that right. We're all connected so divinely to all the elements of earth. Okay, so I don't want to make this too lengthy. I hope that I shared something with you that might inspire you to get outside and just breathe God's air. I saw a thing, I think, on Facebook, a little thing, and I'll close air with this. A man fell ill, and he was 78 years old. I remember that. He was 78 years old, and he was taken to the hospital, and he was given oxygen for 24 hours. And when he got the bill, he began to cry, and the doctor was somewhere in there. And he says, well, why are you crying? And he says, well, because my bill is $5,000 for oxygen. And so the doctor said, well, okay, we can work out a payment plan and all this kind of stuff. And so he says, well, it's not because of that. He goes, I've been living for 78 years and breathing God's air free of charge for all this time. And I've come here into your hospital for 24 hours. And I have a bill for $5,000 for just breathing your air. He said, how much more would you imagine that I owe God for the 78 years that I've been breathing His air for free? Okay, that's a little something to think about. Now let's move on to sunshine. Oh my, I love the sunshine. It makes me happy. It's a source of life. We need the earth and the water and the sunshine to bring us the nutrition. And I like to get out in the sunshine and exercise. There are people who are afraid of the sunshine because they think they're going to get cancer from being in the sunshine. These things. But vitamin D, we get the highest quality of vitamin D from the sunshine. And we don't have to be out there too long to get it. Okay? But when we can get sunshine, it will stimulate our bodies, our liver in particular, to create the type of cholesterol that brings us the vitamin D. Of course, in this day and age, a lot of us just find a pill. There's pills that say vitamin D. And I haven't really figured that out as to how we can get the quality of a vitamin that our fearfully and wonderfully made bodies naturally produce in a pill. But sometimes I have been subject to having to take those pills because when the vitamin D in your body gets low, then your immune system is compromised and a host of other things that go on. And I'm away from my notes now, and I won't even try to diverge that information while I'm away from my notes. But like I said, when I am doing these broadcasts over the live feed and you are with me, I will be giving you the details because I will be going from my notes. So, sunshine. And there was a time that sunbathing was part of healing rituals. Okay? If a person had something like pneumonia, even, I do recall that there was an instance in something that I read where a person, I think it would have been in the book Back to Eden by Mr. Kloss. Sunbathing was a part of the regimen for healing pneumonia, and the person's back would be exposed to the sunlight, and not for an extended period of time, and then he would be flipped over and his abdominal section or her abdominal section would be exposed, like the chest and the torso, because the health part of that was allowing the body to absorb the rays of the sun, and for the liver and the lungs to create, because everything we get is from nature, for the body to produce or to elevate the immune system to cure the pneumonia. Now, there were breathing exercises and lots of other things to that, which of course incorporates the air. So getting the person out into open air and having him or her breathe deeply, and the body absorbing the sunshine. Okay? Now, of course, I don't think this was done in an area where there might have been snow on the ground at the time. But sunshine is a curing element for so many, I want to say, dis-eases and discomforts. Now, one of the emotional things for me, and for a lot of people, I'm sure that you have heard of something called SAD. And right now I can't even tell you what those letters are synonyms of. But um, I have had experiences where if I have 3 or 4 gray days in a row, I get a little bit of depression, and I have to get some sunshine. Okay? So we become sad when we don't get some sunshine. All right? I'll look up the particulars of that, because it's a real thing, and many of us have a problem with that. So sunshine cures what ails you. It is uplifting to the emotions. It's warming to the skin, healing, and when you're in an area of humidity, like we are, and I'm out on my bike and this kinds of things, and it purifies some things. It allows your body to work more functionally. So we need the sunshine. We need the sunshine in order for our food to grow, for our vegetables and fruits, for the trees. We need the sunshine. And so I'm going to get a little bit spiritual. We need the sun shine in our hearts. We need the rays of light and love, of what we sometimes refer to as the Son of God, okay, to radiate from our being. So when you come across a happy person, which if you came across me right now out in the sunshine, I would be considered a happy person. And I would just ooze all over you. Unfortunately, I come out so early that there are not many people. And when I find them, I give them a happy, good morning, good glorious morning. How are you today? And I attribute that to having been exposed to the sunshine. I think I could stop right there, because most of you who will be watching me will be spiritually inclined, and you will recognize the symbolism of the sunshine. Okay, that might be enough for today. And once again, when I do the live broadcast, I will have my notes in front of me. And I will hope that you will be joining me and have some questions or something like that, because I will have more, I want to say, qualifying information. Because, you know, I'm not a doctor. I read a lot, and I appreciate the hand of what I call God in my life. And everything is about spirit. Everything is about the creator of the universe. Everything is about God. So that's what you're going to get when you tune in to me on these broadcasts. And right now we're talking about God's laws of health. And fresh air and sunshine are very, very important. Let the light of the sun shine through you today. And have a glorious day.